Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once more to Waffle TV. It's been a journey since we started with number bases, and it was quite interesting because through converting numbers from base 10 to other bases and from other bases to base 10 through addition, subtraction, and last time multiplication, it has been very interesting. Today we'll be looking at division of numbers in other bases than base 10. And by the end of our lesson today, we should be able to divide numbers in other bases than base 10. Our example, the first example, of course, is 224 divided by 3 in base 5. So before we do this, you have to be very keen because this, among others, is one of the most tricky topics. So we're going to look at this example and others so that you can better understand how to divide numbers in other bases than base 10. From this example, before we divide 224 by 3 in base 5, we have to construct the multiplication timetable for 3 in base 5 so that it will assist us to do this division properly. So we're going to start with 3 base 5 times 0 base 5 is going to give us 0 base 5. 3 base 5 times 1 base 5 is going to give 3 base 5. 3 base 5 times 2 base 5 is equal to 6. This is where it becomes to get tricky. So let's follow up. This will give 6. 6 is more than 5. So you divide by 5. It will be 1 remainder 1. You write 1 first, the remainder, and the whole number. This in base 5. You come to the next 3 base 5 times 3 base 5 will be equal to 3 times 3 is 9. 9 divided by 5 is going to give 1 remainder 4. So 4 comes first and the whole number 1. This is in base 5. Next, 3 base 5 times 4 in base 5. This will be equal to 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 5 is equal to 2 remainder 2. So this will have 2 here, the remainder, and 2, the whole number, in base 5. We are up to 4, so we will end here. Now we'll use this multiplication timetable for 3 in base 5 to divide this, our dividend here, 224 and 3 outside. Remember, we are dividing in base 5. 2 divided by 5, it can also, we're going to take these two numbers. 22 divided by 3. You come here, you realize that it is 4 times. 4 times 3. Remember, we are talking in base 5. 4 times 3, this will give 22. And if you subtract, you have a 0. You bring down 4. 4 divided by 3. The nearest number here should be 1 time. 1 times 3 in base 4 will give 3. And if you subtract, you have a difference of 1. That will be the remainder. There's no other number to bring down. Therefore, our answer will be equal to 4, 1, remainder 1 in base 5. Let's go to the second example to see how it goes. From this 64 divided by 2 in base 7, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to construct the multiplication timetable for 2 in base 7. After that, we are going to do division just as above to see what it gives us as an answer. So let's start from the multiplication timetable. 2 in base 7 times 0 in base 7 equal to 0 base 7. 2 in base 7 times 1 in base 7 is equal to 2 in base 7. 2 base 7 times 2 in base 7. 2 times 2 is less than the base, that is 4 base 7. 2 in base 7 times 3 in base 7. 2 times 3 is 6, which is less than the base. So it will be 6 in base 7. 2 base 7 times 4 in base 7. 2 times 4 is 8. And 8 divided by 7 will be equal to 1 remainder 1. You write 1 first and the whole number. So it will be 1 and 1 in base 7. 2 base 7 times 5 in base 7 equal to 2 times 5, 10. 10 divided by 7 equal to 1 remainder 3. So you write your 3 first and 1 here. This in base 7. 2 base 7 times 6 base 7 will be equal to 2 times 6 is 12. And 12 divided by 7 will be equal to 1 remainder 5. So this will give us 5 here and 1. This in base 7. Remember, we are working in base 7 and this is up to 6. So we are going to end at this moment to use this table for this in this division. 6, 4 divided by 2. We are operating in base 7. So here we're going to divide. 6 divided by 2 in base 7 is going to give us 3. 3 times 2 in base 7 is going to give us 6. The difference here is 0. You bring down 4. 4 divided by 2, you check here, 4 divided by 2 in base 7 will be 2 times. And 2 times 2 in base 7. 2 times 2 in base 7 is 4. And if you subtract at this level, is 0. Therefore, our answer will be equal to 32 in base 7. This is the second example. Let's look at the third. Just like in our previous examples, we'll first of all construct this multiplication timetable for 6 in base 8. Once we are done, we can use this multiplication timetable in base 8 to do the division, just as what we've done here. So first of all, let's construct the multiplication timetable for 6 in base 8. 6 base 8 times 0 base 8 is equal to 0 in base 8. 6 base 8 times 1 base 8 is equal to 6 base 8. 6 base 8 times 2 base 8 is equal to 6 times 2 is 12. So write it somewhere. 12 divided by the base, which is 8, is equal to 1 remainder 4. So you round down, you write down 4 first, then 1 here in base 8. 6 base 8 times 3 base 8 is equal to 18. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 8 is going to give 2 remainder 2. You write the remainder first, 2, and the whole number. All this in base 8. 6 base 8 times 4 base 8 is equal to 6 times 4 is 24. 24 divided by 8, 3 remainder 0. So the answer will be 0 first, then 3 in base 8. 6 base 8 times 5 base 8 is equal to 5 times 6 is 30, and 30 divided by 8 is equal to 3 remainder 6. So the remainder comes first, 6, and then 3. It will be 3, 6 in base 8. The next is 6 base 8 times 6 base 8 is equal to 6 times 6, 36 divided by 8 is equal to 4 remainder 4. So here our answer will be 4 and 4 in base 8. 6 base 8 times 7 in base 8 is equal to 6 times 7 is 42. 42 divided by 8 will be equal to 5 remainder 2. So the answer here will be 2 first, then 5 here in base 8. 5, 2 in base 8. So we're going to end at this level and do our division now. 5, 7, 2 divided by 6. This in base 8. 5 divided by 6, it cannot. So we're going to take both numbers. 57 divided by 6. 57 divided by 6 in base 8. So we come to the nearest number here and we'll have 52. So it will be 7 times. 7 times 6 in base 8 is 52. If you subtract, the difference is 5. You bring down 2. 52 divided by 6 in base 8 is equal to 7 times. And 7 times 6 is 52. If you subtract this, it's a dash here, and therefore the answer will be equal to 7 base 8. This is what we had for you today, and we believe you've learned something. Go over it carefully to see how this is done, and you listen to it over and over for better understanding. See you in our next lesson, where we shall be introducing a new topic, and that is nothing other than geometry. Ciao.